Tonight, the state of Utah has a new attorney general. He was sworn in a private ceremony earlier today.
Allegations of corruption, ethics complaints, and a disregard for transparency have tarnished the office. But new specialist Lori Pritchard shows us Republican Derek Brown is promising to win back the public's trust.
Attorney General Mark Shurtleff, Attorney General John Swallow, Attorney General Sean Reyes. Each brought their own set of scandals to the office over the last 2 decades. Now it's former state representative Derek Brown's turn to take over as AG.
During the debate, you also said that you want to make sure that the Attorney General's office is the most transparent and most respected law firm in the state of Utah. You've said this numerous times.
Yes.
Do you believe it currently is respected?
Well, I can tell you what I will do as the Attorney General.
But do you think it's respected?
You know what, you'll have to ask people around if it is. From my standpoint, if it's not, it will be.
Brown has assembled a transition team of 40 people, Republican and Democrat, in and out of the legal field. There's 11 subcommittees looking at things like ethics, personnel, current cases like the one against Facebook and Instagram's parent company, Meta. Brown representing Meta for the last 7 years before running for AG.
The state alleged that Meta had made misrepresentations about the safety of its platforms, specifically when it comes to children.
Exactly.
So would you agree with that?
Exactly. Well, I'm not going to comment on the merits of the case yet, because here's the reality is I'm not in the office yet, and so I haven't sort of analyzed the unredacted versions of what's going on. But at the right time, I'd be happy to do that.
Brown is adamant his work at Meta isn't a conflict, but complements what Utah can do in its lawsuit against the company.
That expertise, I believe, is a good thing. That helps me understand what it is that's going on in a way that somebody who doesn't have that expertise doesn't know.
Yet Brown's expertise and the nearly 300 attorneys that make up the AG's office may not be enough when it comes to one case in particular. The public lands lawsuit the state hopes the Supreme Court will take on. Utah trying to take back land roughly the size of South Carolina that it gave up to get statehood. Brown pledges the suit will continue, as will the outside attorneys hired to litigate the case at a cost of about $14 million, according to the Deseret News.
One of arguably the best appellate attorneys in the country. So would they continue to work on this case? Yes.
So we don't have any attorneys in the Attorney General's office that could litigate this?
Well, what we do is we provide, we look for individuals with the expertise, and I think it's appropriate at times to retain outside counsel.
As we've covered issues like public lands, the Dobbs decision on abortion, Utah's controversial Sovereignty Act, which instructs the state to ignore federal law when they don't like it or don't agree with it, it's clear Brown isn't likely to upset the Republican establishment. And while he wouldn't criticize his predecessors, he did say this.
What's legal and what's ethical sometimes are two different things. There's a higher bar, and then what should be perceived. Perception is also reality, and so I'm taking those things into consideration to create an office that is trusted, that's respected, and perhaps taking steps that I may not need to take under law, but I'm going to anyway because I think it enhances people's trust.
An example of Brown trying to set a higher example. He served as board chair for Utah School of the Deaf and Blind. He has since stepped down from that role, one he says he loved. He did it because the Attorney General's office oversees nonprofits. He says it's not a legal requirement for him, it's an ethical one. Lori Pritchard, KSL 5 News.